So here is my ribbed piece of work that I'm working on. You can see that it is ribbed by the 2 knit stitch followed by 2 purl stitch pattern here. And it's all the way around. So it's pretty easy to memorize. This piece is worked on a circular knitting needles here, and for me, I find that knitting in the round on circular knitting needles is synonymous with using the magic loop method. I don't know if that counts for everybody, maybe other people don't feel that way, but when you're working with a piece on circular knitting needles, the needles are a one size. Now you can get them obviously in different lengths, but the ones you have will be the ones you'll work with, and they don't necessarily fit the work that you're making. Like you can see that stitches don't come to the end of my needles. So with the size of the piece that I'm working on, I need to have the stitches at the ends. So if I put my stitches at the end, that pushes my work too far out. It makes it very hard and very tight when you're actually knitting. So the magic loop method is what's going to help me turn this circular knitting needle into the exact right size that I need it. So to use the magic loop method, I like to push as much as I can of the stitches to the ends of the needles. So just kind of working them a little bit around. Don't push it too far. If they're tight, if they're strained, it's not conducive. But then you can find a spot close to the end of your second knitting needle, not right after it. This is where my needle ends, but just a little ways down. That way you have the most amount of stitches to work with before having to do it again. And you just kind of separate 2 of the stitches kind of anywhere and make a little bit of space so you can see that cord sticking out, and you pull on it. So you can pull it out and you just pull it, and you see how it brings these stitches closer together. And it makes it so that my stitches can push right to the edge of the needle, so I have lots of stitches to work with. And there, right here, is your magic loop for your circular knitting needles. Now that loop you can pretty much ignore until you run out of stitches, and then you'll just have to do it again. So as I'm knitting, I'll show you here, I would just carry on as usual, and eventually I'll run out of stitches, and that'll be the point at which I'll just have to do it again. I'll have all my stitches on the needles. There will be the same amount unless I've been increasing or decreasing, and I'll find a spot that's good to separate, and I'll just pull on the cord and make a nice little magic loop so that I can keep stitching all the way around. So that's your magic loop.